Thank you again, candidates. We're in the home stretch. Here's the last question. We value our military bases and want to ensure that they continue to operate well in the area. What are the most effective improvements around NAS Pensacola in that the county could take on?
Well, certainly making sure that we have great relationships with our local military partners is vital. The military is a third of our economy, a third of our economic growth, but also they bring men and women to our town from all over the world, all over America, that come to our town and love it, and they give back to our town. Making sure that that the military, I have been on the Navy League board for 27 years, and making sure that Pensacola's partnership, and that we are talking to DC with partnership with the military, making sure that they do not forget about us, making sure that that our veterans are taken care of is so important. Our military, we just had the Blue Angel weekend. What a great weekend. And they bring so much economic development to our town. And, I will be fighting for our partnerships with them and making sure that we are always keeping them top of mind. The military, thank you.
I think we do pretty good. I think it's important for us to know that the military wants us to understand who they are as a people, and they want to be able to integrate into our communities. I think that happens pretty well. I think one of the best assets that we have is, as he said, the Blue Angels. What a great show they put on for us. But it wasn't just a show. It was excellence that they put on. One of my former commanding officers used to be CEO of the Blue Angels. In fact, he holds the current record. He's the only former commanding officer that served the Blue Angels 3 tours. That's because he was a commanding officer that believed in excellence. So if we try to achieve in our community vital ways to incorporate the military in all that we do, I think we'll be successful. All of us have a heart for the military. As a veteran, I go to the Veterans Memorial Park and I almost have tears. Sometimes I have tears. But it's about remembering who has made this community strong. It's about knowing who the military is that's serving here today. And it's about respecting them and welcoming them because they're here and they are in the greatest place in the world, whether it's aviation or whether it's a specialty training. Thank you.
Well, I wasn't a business owner, but this one I got. So let's continue with the encroachment on NAS Pensacola. Don't forget we got Corey Station right here in Escambia County too. So they keep the encroachment away from the bases, let them feel like they still have that domain to themselves. Let's keep the infrastructure, let's keep that going and the flowing of the traffic in and out of the bases, right? Let's keep the infrastructure around. Let's keep the schools going and keep those pumping good because when you bring your military, you're bringing their children too. They're going to become the coaches in your little leagues. They're going to become the coaches and the mentors in the schools. They're going to be part of your PTAs. You want them involved. They're going to be involved in the community. They are you when they get here. So after their day of work, they go out and become you. Already? So then you're gonna, you want to. It's time to. It's not just enough to wave a flag and say, "Hey, I'm patriotic. I like the Blue Angels." Escambia County. It's time to put our muscle where our mouth is. Let Washington know that we are ready for the next drone project. We are ready for the next technology that comes out for the IT department on Corey Station. Pensacola and Escambia County wants it. That's how we support them. That's how you get to keep the veterans here. That's how they become sheriff's department. That's how they become EMS. That's how they become the leaders of this community when they retire and choose to stay here like I did. I could have went anywhere in the world. I chose to stay here because I loved it so much.
The military and their spending represents 52% of our
Right.
economy, 52%. And it's an incredibly important aspect of our economy. In fact, we would be gone without it. It would be a devastating blow. So I served 15 years on the Military Affairs Committee for the Chamber of Commerce while I was on the school board and in the county commission. I worked 18 years on the base supporting the mission. So it's incredibly important. The most important thing the county is doing is working with the military on their APZ zones and making sure that we set aside enough area, enough land and conservation that we don't interfere with their training. As a matter of fact, just last week, we completed a very important land swap with the Navy. We set 27 acres in conservation. We were able to keep possession of it and utilization of it, but we will never allow any more building on it. In exchange for that, we got 5 acres from the Navy where we're going to build a brand new fire station on Bower Road. We have to make sure that we protect the mission and we enhance the mission. I'm proud to serve on the Northwest Florida Defense Coalition. We went up to D.C. 3 months ago. I met with the admiral who runs all the bases worldwide. We expressed our concerns, and we've just brought back several large appropriations. You'll read about it in the paper. The military is a vitally important part of Pensacola, probably every bit as important as tourism. A lot of people don't want to believe that, but that's the fact. So we have to protect these missions, especially the Blue Angels. I know one of my counterparts made a big mistake and said we should move the practices somewhere else. He had to walk that back instantaneously. We don't want to move anything about the Blue Angels. We want them right there on that base. We want them right here in Pensacola because the military is vital to our community. Thank you.
I'm current major in Auxiliary Air Force, and I have 2 sayings when I get up in the morning. One, I leave the house with the right attitude. And number 2, I never have any difficulties during the day. I have challenges. And I think what we need to do, we need to reach out and be a better person and come together and do more and more for our military, people that served, people that come here.
Thank you. If you're a veteran or active duty, raise your hand, please. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your service. 15% of our community is a military veteran. It's a huge amount of our community. When you talk about the budget, it brings in 23,000 jobs, and it accounts for $3.1 billion in our local industry. It's a huge part of who we are as Pensacola. One of the things that we need to make sure we do as county is continue to provide the infrastructure that keeps it safe and efficient. One of the problems that we're having now is, yes, the Blue Angels practice here, and it's absolutely amazing, but you have hundreds of people who can't get their kids to school on those days because the road's blocked. We've got to invest in the infrastructure to expand those roads. Part of the problems that we have now is you have people saying, well, it's not my district, it's not my problem. That's not true because of that $3.1 billion. It is our problem. It is our problem, all of us, all of Escambia County, and we've got to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to support our local military, and I think it starts with providing the correct infrastructure so our community can commute properly and that they feel the love.
Could you repeat the question you asked one more time?
Of course. We value our military bases and want to ensure that they continue to operate well in the area. What are the most effective improvements around NAS Pensacola and Corey Station and that the county could take on?
So certainly, I think we all agree on this. We're supportive of our military, and that's what the largest chunk of our federal income tax is going to, is to keep us safe here at home. And we want to make sure that we're showing our respect to these military bases. And when we look at the front gate or the surrounding area of where you drive in from the airport, and we have military officers coming to town and they're driving from Pensacola airport over to the front gate of the base, I mean, it's not probably the most beautiful drive in the world. There's an opportunity there on the west side of the bridge, right before you come over the bridge on the front gate, to put a beautiful waterfront park right there on county property. You do have some individuals, some developers that are looking at investing in property right there on the east side of the front bridge to the gate to put in apartment complexes, some commercial and storefronts right there. The issue with development there is it is in a mandatory evacuation zone. So if we have a torrential hurricane, all that's flooded, so you do have to lift it up. But there's a ton of opportunities there too with the Warrington CRA, with providing some grants to these businesses to fix the facades of what their stores look like, and to really give that community the spruce it needs, so that when we have these folks coming into town, that the county's showing its best foot forward and making sure that they've got a good drive into the base, and that it looks like that we're here to support the military, which we all are. but that we're putting our face forward and doing a good job of keeping it up. Thank you.